Time now for another round of New Day Hot Topics with two panelists who are out with a new cookbook that's about more than just delicious baked foods. Rage Baking is two parts, recipes from cookies and cakes to pies and tarts, but also inspirational essays, reflections, and interviews with well-known bakers and impassioned activists. And we have the authors with us, Gunst and Katherine Alford. Join me now. And let's talk about the book, first of all. So what is Rage Baking?
Rage baking has a long historical history. Women have been taking to the kitchen, pounding dough, rolling out pie crusts, and using personal rage, political rage, to help ground them. The book started for me during the Kavanaugh hearings, when I was watching the hearings and becoming quite upset about what I was seeing as yet another chapter in women not being listened to, and it led to a lot of baking.
A lot of
unexpected baking, pies, cakes, cookies, all in one night. And then Katherine and I have been friends for many years, and we got together and thought, maybe this is a book.
So what is the message of this book then?
Well, the idea of rage baking is also to build community. And when you make a cake or even a batch of cookies, you always generally share it with people.
Yeah.
So we thought, these are symbols in our lives, whether it's a birthday cake or a wedding cake or whatever. They're very significant and they ground us in many things. And in this time in our country right now, I think we need it. And so we really want this to be a tool to bring people together, to have important conversations, and then get out there and use our skills as activists and as bakers.
There's also something to be said for being in control and being able to take ingredients and do with it what you want to do.
Yeah, control's an interesting word because I think a lot of women don't feel that. And I think a lot of men don't feel that these days either. These are very tumultuous times, and people find all sorts of different ways to help them, as you put it, feel in control. My word is always feel grounded. Baking is an answer for some people to help with that, but the message of this book is not, oh ladies, get back in the kitchen and start baking and all your troubles will go away.
Right.
That's not what this is about
Not
either.
in any way. It's really about this idea of transformation and taking something and turning it into something delicious or positive or powerful.
And along the way, has more anger built up, or have you found something else? Have you found hope as you've
I think it's
together?
both. I mean, you can't write a book about rage baking and not be comfortable with rage.
Sure.
But it is very hopeful. And when we brought all of the really powerful, talented women together in this book, we ended up feeling very, very hopeful about it. And creating community is really, really behind what this is all about.
And it was very important to us that this not be a traditional cookbook. This is very much an unexpected book in that you open a page of a pie recipe, and then you go to an essay about women's body images written by the brilliant Von Diaz, and how women have always struggled with the idea of dessert and accepting that they're allowed to eat sweets. And then you turn the page and there's a vintage photo of a 1980s Women's March in front of the Pentagon that were taken by my mother-in-law, who we lost several years ago, who was just a brilliant photojournalist, and we found these vintage photos. And then you turn that and you get to another essay. Some of them are funny.
Sure.
Tess Rafferty, a brilliant writer in Los Angeles, wrote a piece called "The Revolution Will Be Catered." And you have to laugh when you read it, but some of them will make you very angry and rageful, and some of them will make you think. And we were really interested in opening conversations, and we certainly have.
Yeah, you have definitely struck a nerve. Let us do Hot Topics. We're going to begin this week. Amazon Go opened a new grocery store in Seattle. Amazon Prime members can scan their card, fill their cart, walk out of the store without waiting in line at the checkout. Their groceries seem to cost a little bit less because there are fewer employees to be paid. What are your thoughts about this?
I think you picked up on my hesitation. Fewer employees to be paid. How many people will lose their jobs over this? My whole career has been built on the idea of bringing people to the table, getting people to go shop for real seasonal or natural fresh food and go home and sit at a table. If this encourages that, great. But if people lose jobs and there's no more conversation on the waiting line and it disenfranchises humanity even further, not so great.
I can tell you the union workers in Seattle are already...
Well, and they have a right to be.
Yes.
I mean, I think this is really, you know, it's taking, the whole thing about food is it's about our heart and soul and our identity. So to take people out of it is a little disturbing to me. And when you were describing it, I was thinking of the experience that I had at a Whole Foods in New York, where someone who was at the cashier helped me to understand how I could use my app better and do that. And I had a really wonderful personal experience. To me, I love, you know, having a conversation over the potatoes and the spinach. And that really is part of the whole experience of having food.
I'm remembering back to a day when I was a little lonely, and the only person I ended up talking to that day might be the checkout person at a Safeway. And also, some of these grocery stores do hire people that might not be able to get jobs somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Those are such important points.
Yeah,
I
food
mean,
service
the
jobs are
human-
entry-level positions for so many people. And to take this out and turn it into a high-tech job really kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Human to human experience, not on a device, not on social media, where you're looking in someone's eyes and their face and saying, I see you. We don't want to obliterate that.
No, we do not. Let's go to topic number 2.
Okay.
McDonald's scented candles. To celebrate 50 years of the Quarter Pounder, McDonald's is offering a Quarter Pounder scented candle pack featuring the following flavors: ketchup, pickles, cheese, onion, bun, and beef flavors. Yes, your house can smell just like my car. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, I mean, my thoughts are it's really kind of amazing, and I only want it if I can get fries with that.
I do not want anything in my life to smell like a Quarter Pounder. I guess if you love that and you're obsessed with it and you crave it, sure, get your house to smell like it. I can think of many other things I'd rather my home smell like.
Yeah, I think you can. Okay, so finally, a booming trend, infants in the workplace. This is interesting. The Tacoma News Tribune reports that the Pierce County Prosecuting Attorney's Office is allowing employees to bring in infants between 6 weeks and 9 months into the office. It'll lower child care costs, reduce turnover, reduce stress. It's interesting that for each child brought in, there must be 2 care providers, you know, that volunteer in case mom or the dad is prosecuting, I suppose. So thoughts on this?
I mean, I have 2 grown daughters now, but anything that supports working mothers is a positive thing. How other people in the office feel about it, I'm sure it's controversial, but anything to empower women and working moms, I'm all for it.
I have a little bit more of an issue because I think it obscures the issue of what maternity leave and paternity leave is, and just saying bring the kids in. I mean, in other countries, they're 6 months, a year, or up to 2 years where someone is allowed to be at home with their kids. So I'm a little like, as you were describing it, it made me a little uncomfortable because it's like volunteers. It's once again, it's at the end of the chain of the women who have to manage it, and we should have much more support for women and families.
Sounds like another great essay for the book, Rage Baking.
Yes.
And I love the cover because you see a woman pounding the dough, and it's just...
Yes.
Well, the flour going everywhere is chaos, and trying to ground it, and a lot of really very easy, doable recipes.
Katherine and Kathy, thank you so much
Thank you for
joining
having us. Thanks.
Up next.